Hoi there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to a new Football Talks. I am joined by Bill. Say hello, Bill.
Hey, hey, what is up?
What a great way to start week one. This is perhaps the best week one I've ever seen. And there's been some ups and downs. We have a lot to talk about. We have Houston, Detroit, the disappointment that is the Dallas Cowboys. In fact, you should call them the Dallas Disappointments. But the biggest surprise, there were big surprises all over this week. The Patriots, which we'll save the best for last, which I don't have much to say on them aside from what needs to be said. But anyway, let's just
Right.
jump into it right now. Let's talk about the first game. Houston hosting Chicago, and for a while, the Bears' offensive line showed a lot of poise and resistance. I'll just say this: Watt only got QB hits. He almost got a sack, but Cutler threw it away. So this is what my conclusion is in regards to the Bears. Cutler is perhaps your best bet unless you get an early pick and there is a QB out there that's like a Jameis Winston who is ready to start. If there's not something like that, you stick with Cutler. But other than that, everything's falling into place for them offensively. It's defensively that they have a lot of holes. Their line needs work and their corners are not the best. But
Right.
Bill, I'm warning you this right now. The Lions, when they play them, they same with Dallas. Their linebackers were the ones that were doing work on defense.
I mean, that was the big issue is, the Chicago Bears were always a decently good offensive team. It's their defense right now that's
But
the
their line,
big,
this is the
big
thing.
issue.
The Watt couldn't do anything, and Watt and Clowney got double teamed. The only one who got through were no names like Max Bullock, the inside linebacker, which I should mention. Cushing is out for 4 to 6 weeks. He tore his MCL or PCL, I should say. It doesn't need
Right.
surgery, and he'll come back within 4 to 6 weeks. So we won't see him until probably end of October, or early November, which
Hmm.
is around the bye.
Interesting.
So he might come back after the bye week.
Right.
Which honestly, this if it keeps up, this is I've said it before. If Benardrick McKinney shows up and becomes the guy, they're gonna cut Brian Cushing as much as Houston sees him as an icon, about as much as Watt. Brian Cushing is the face of what it means to be a bully. That one player who's just an asshole to anyone he plays against, right? He's the one that
Right.
does the dirty talking, but he'll be gone, I think. I think he'll be gone after this year because this was his big flaw. Him and Sean Lee were in the same boat.
Yeah,
If
they're
they
they're
get
just
hurt,
a walking they're a
yeah,
walking injury.
yes, and that's just what keeps happening for them. However, Houston is well versed in depth to handle it. But other than that, Whitney Merciless got 2 sacks, and I heard Clowney got a sack, but I don't think he did. I would have saw it or heard of it. You know what I mean? The NFL would have
Right.
buzzed about it. But Clowney was easily penetrating the line from time to time, even when he was being double covered. He would slip past two defenders and reach Cutler, hitting him, trying or hitting the running back. Honestly, Clowney's showing much more poise as a run stuffer. So
Right.
it makes them go in a way where they're not facing Clowney, more in Watt's direction, but still facing towards the center. You know what I mean? Like middle right.
Right.
But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I did not see any any of the running backs go to the left because
I
Clowney
mean,
will say hi.
I
But anyway, enough
mean,
defense because the only thing Houston did that was defensive wise aside for that was that pick by Andre Howe. The defense, the only thing that worries me is their secondary. They redeemed themselves a bit with the interception, but it makes me wonder they need to not blow some covers because you don't want to leave Alshon Jeffrey or Eddie Royal ahead of you. They're going to catch
right.
the balls if they throw them in that general area. They're big guys; they'll catch it. That's
Yeah,
because they're not.
yeah,
That's because they're not
exactly.
top 10 receivers, but you should not underestimate them. I think Houston did underestimate them, and that's what nearly cost them. But anyway, in terms of offense, Brock Osweiler's first drive, a pick. Oh boy, Houston fans along with me, they're like, it's not this again. We paid for this not to happen again. But it got
Right.
fine. Lamar Miller, he's leading in rushing yards right now. Not in terms of fantasy, but just straight rushing yards, 106. The other two people close to him were C.J. Anderson and Chris Ivory. I think was it Chris Ivory with 96 yards?
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure. I mean, okay, I can check my phone, but yeah, Lamar Miller. In terms of raw rushing yards, he is leading. He's leading the pack, which is good. He
Right.
didn't get a touchdown, though, but at least the backups were only used 3 times. It was Alfred Blue used 3 times, I think, and ran about 8 yards. So these other backup running backs, whenever they're used, they showed up, which is good.
Right.
But Lamar Miller becoming the dedicated workhorse, but that's not just the only thing. I was glad to see Steven Anderson. Like first, you saw Fedorowicz, who I still think is garbage of a tight end, make catches. And granted, when I was seeing Brock Osweiler make some misses or force balls to Hopkins, he should not force them. This isn't like last year because teams aren't going to ignore Hopkins anymore, right?
See, that that's what I title Kelvin Johnson syndrome, and you start seeing your quarterback just throwing footballs where he has no business throwing it to. DeAndre, no business throwing it
You
to
don't force it
DeAndre.
onto Hopkins because, well, as I'll
Exactly.
mention later, it pays off if you just spread the ball around. But anyway, okay, so the top three right now are Lamar Miller 106, Forte is 96, which surprised me. C.J. Anderson 92.
Right.
Not bad. Of course, the
Not
leading receiving yards are A.J. Green, who just destroyed Darrell Revis. Like, if you don't want to talk about Hopkins last year blowing up Revis Island, A.J. Green made sure another island would never be built again.
Revis Island went underneath the waves, and Revis Island became
I mean,
Atlantis.
I'm hesitant about all the jokes because considering yesterday was 9/11, don't want someone to get triggered about it. But we'll leave it at that. But the other two were freaking receiving or Saints wide receivers, which oh boy, I can't wait to talk about that game. But anyway, so Steven Anderson was eventually catching balls more than C.J. Fedorowicz. I believe he caught 3, which is great. I want him to become the number one guy. So basically, you have 4 wide receivers, and you're getting away with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't have 4 wide receivers on the field, I think, but now you
Yeah.
can with Steven Anderson.
No, you can have 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, but a tight end can also block.
Yeah.
But anyway, the one player we got to mention, Will Fuller.
Oh,
Will
yeah.
Fuller, he missed a bomb. If he caught this, he would have been gone. No Bears player alive would have caught him. Because Will
Right.
Fuller is what they call an unusual athlete. Because he's all speed, speed, speed. This was his worry when people were going to draft him. This was his big flaw. Has trouble catching the deep ball. But if he catches it and he's ahead of the defensive back, he's gone. They're not catching him unless they're freaking Usain Bolt.
Right.
But he made up for it. He caught a low throw by Brock, which I mean that was bad. But he made up for it running through Bears players, getting to the end zone. But it was because he kept throwing and sharing the ball to Fuller and Anderson that Hopkins got open for that 20-yard touchdown pass, and that one's not an easy catch to make, mind you.
Right.
But
Exactly.
it took that and a few field goals to just get a secure enough lead to where the Bears had to play desperate, and that was all. That's all they wrote. But yeah, so if I have to rate this game, Houston, I can still see that the offense has a lot of growing pains to go into.
Right.
So there's a lot more room to grow, and honestly, it's good you played a bad Bears team because next week is Kansas City, and for a moment, if Kansas City lost that, I was gonna pick Houston against Kansas City, but I think I might change my pick to Houston anyway.
Right.
Because if
Well,
Lamar Miller, because here's the thing, Justin Houston's still not back. I don't know about Jamal Charles. I don't think he'll be back either. But
right. No.
I'm thinking Houston can probably stop them. The only thing for you, Bill, to worry about the Bears, Houston, they didn't do too bad, and this is perhaps the best line they're going to go up against all season. Because
Right.
remember, who else are you playing? the rest of the AFC South and the NFC East. Maybe the
Right.
Giants, which we'll talk about the Giants later, are the only
Right.
other defensive line I could think of at the moment that could challenge them and give them trouble. But
That.
you see what I mean. The
Oh
Giants,
yeah.
I I should have picked the Giants to be honest, unless Washington football team tonight, because we're recording this on Monday, shows up a little bit against the Steelers. Like Josh Norman actually challenges Antonio Brown.
Right.
Maybe the Washington football team can pull through with our predictions of them winning the division again. But
Right.
anyway, um, other than that, good. Brock Osweiler, he still needs to grow too. But you got Lamar Miller, who you could just feed the ball to. He's going to be the workhorse, and all these other wide receivers. Surprisingly, I don't think I saw Jalen Strong catch a ball. Which it was
Oh
just
jeez.
Hopkins. It was just Hopkins and Fuller.
Huh.
I'm surprised as much as you are, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah.
The only thing, Brock Osweiler, I think there were catches he could have made when ones that he missed. Like in that interception, he had three other options to throw to, but that's an example. You just don't force the ball to Hopkins. Because he's going to go up against Marcus Peters next week. So I would not throw the ball to him at all. They might even double cover him. We don't know.
Right.
So
I mean, Will Fuller is the great equalizer, though. He can make you pay for double coverage on
yeah, but
DeAndre.
Bill, I'm going to mention this before we move on. Offensive Rookie of the Year. People were hyping Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott because if Dallas even gets 8-8 and they have impressive enough stats, I guarantee you they're gonna make one of them like the awards. Because in the end, these awards are just popularity contests. They don't
Oh yeah.
always entirely go on, actual statistics, how they fared against certain players. Sometimes it's just a popularity contest because that's what the people want.
Right.
But I don't know. I hope that they don't do that because honestly, if Fuller plays the way he did against the Bears today, he should be a clear-cut shot at the Offensive Rookie of the Year award, which I don't know if a Houston player has done that yet.
I'm not sure.
I
To
doubt
be
it.
honest.
I mean, not many teams get that award anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the Detroit Lions. I mean, everyone had the Colts coming in or hosting the Lions and feasting on them, putting up
Yeah.
points, which they did. Let's be fair. There were a lot of points. Some people were saying this would be a shootout, and those people were right. I mean, it took till the second half for that to happen, but it happened.
Right.
This
And
what?
here's the real issue, though, is Indianapolis came out in the second half and it adjusted to the Lions' strategy, and I don't think the Lions' defense adjusted at all. And the issue was in the first half, they took over that game. That first half, it was a Detroit blowout.
Yeah.
They took the game and they
But it was the
wrestled
last
control.
drive. That's this Bill. This game reminded me eerily about remember that horrible Houston season that I'd rather forget against when they hosted the Colts on Sunday Night Football, is the one where Gary Kubiak got hurt. I never forget it
Right.
because it was at the end of that half that Andrew Luck was already warming up.
Yep.
If you see any sign that Andrew Luck if he even puts a touchdown, it could be just at the last second. That alone is enough to start a fire that you might not be able to put out. And the Lions
Right.
almost weren't unable to put that fire out. Like, there are people saying Andrew Luck's not a qualified quarterback. Those people not only need to get their eyes checked, they need to check and see if they have a concussion or something. Because that is the most stupid thing I've heard all week.
I mean,
He is a qualified quarterback. He is a top 5 quarterback, if not top 3, if everything is going his way.
right.
Like,
I mean,
what?
here's the issue: is Andrew Luck is a great quarterback. You do not give him any momentum at all. You give him nothing. If you're beating him 21-3, you make sure you clamp down on your assignments and don't play prevent defense. That's what the Lions did at the end of the first half. They played that prevent garbage defense. Prevent defense prevents you from winning. It gave them momentum going into halftime. And the minute they did that, it's like, oh, okay, we scored. This team's defense is not that dangerous. And then they've made a bunch of adjustments. If you step on their throat and you beat them down at the very beginning, then obviously they're not going to get any momentum. They're down 21-3. They get really they start making errors in judgment. They start pressing really hard. They start making a lot of errors. And that's what the Lions needed to do. They could not give up that touchdown because it gave Indy all that momentum. And you give Andrew Luck any momentum, and he's going to start torching you, which he did to the Lions defense in the second half.
Yep. But Bill, combining running and passing yards, both Amir Abdullah and Theo Riddick put over 100 yards. Theo Riddick 126 and Amir Abdullah 108. The two runs that I saw, there was one where Amir Abdullah made a 13-yard run and then a touchdown run. Both of those instances, Abdullah chose not to run into the pile, but instead go the other way where there's some open field to gain traction on. I get that when you're doing it mid-run, I'm starting to understand that if you're just already running, you've been running for about 3 seconds, it's really hard to just make it in like immediate sharp turn because you could just break you can hurt your ankle area. I get that.
Yeah.
But he didn't take the sharp turn. He stopped and made that adjustment and made first downs, made the touchdown. I like that. There's that football IQ that people were saying about David Johnson, who we're going to talk about too. He is what Amir Abdullah could be, but he adjusted mid-play. He didn't do it after the play. He did it mid-play and made progress where in any other case it would have stopped, which another running back I'm going to talk about needs to learn from.
Right. I mean, here's the biggest thing about this game, though. And I'll put it this way. The biggest thing about this game that I can take away is my admiration for Matthew Stafford. Going into this game, the Lions on a few sites were the number 32 ranked team in power rankings, behind every other team in the NFL.
They put them that low? If you go to the NFL site, one of my favorite analysts, Elliot Harrison, he put them about above 25. I think the worst were who we know are the worst, like 49ers, Browns, Chargers, which I don't think the Chargers deserve to be that low, but someone's got to be there.
I mean, some sites had Detroit as number 32, and
when you see the fan consensus, it was about 72 to 28 for like the leaning towards the Colts. But the pundits, some of the pundits on NFL, like the ones I listen to on the podcast, they were saying this is gonna be a shootout. You could pick whoever you want. In fact, if you have these quarterbacks, start them because they're gonna put points up, and they were right. This was gonna be a close game to the end, and it happened.
Oh yeah, I mean. To be fair, the Lions' defense played amazingly in the first half.
Yeah, honestly, they're still the red flag. They're still a red flag to me. They're the big thing that can keep them out of playoff contention. Like, let's be real. Their line, I'm not concerned about. The linebackers, it's more of the inside ones I'm concerned about. And the other two cornerbacks, Darius Slay, he tripped on one play and that cost it. That cost them, but a trip's a trip. I mean, I need to see how bad it was. Like, but it's the other two corners. It's like the number 2s and the 3s I'm concerned about more than the number 1 receiver.
All that matters is when Detroit needs it the most is if they come back and still are
Matt
able
Prater,
to win.
Bill. Matt Prater, if he missed that extra point again. But this has happened 4 or 5 times now. I feel like it's happened 4 or 5 times now where he misses an extra point and has to kick the game-winning field goal and does it. It's not good for my heart, Bill.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, but what needs to be in the end, what needs to be remembered about this Lions game is that Matthew Stafford is one of the 5 best quarterbacks on game-winning drives. In the last 9 games, he has had 22 touchdowns and 2 picks. He has had a 70+% completion percentage. And you are going to give to me that Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions are the number 32 ranked team in the Pro Football Power Rankings below Cleveland? Are you kidding me? Cleveland, with their quarterback that's made out of glass, is better than my Detroit Lions. Don't make me laugh. Literally, my team, my Lions, is a better team than they get credit for, and the NFL media that consistently pick against me, I hope...
Hey, remember, you had only one person in there believing, and I showed you it. Nate Burleson, who also played with Stafford.
Exactly. But I want them to consistently pick against us because I don't want anyone believing in us. So that way, when we go 13-3 and we get a first-round bye, people will be like, how did this happen? Well, it's easy because you didn't see it coming because we're a better team than what you consistently give to us, and you gave us a bunch of inspiration to be a great team.
Yes, but Bill, wide receivers and the tight ends, much better now because Golden Tate, he did enough. I think he caught a couple passes, but it was Marvin Jones who's showing to be the number 1 guy now.
Oh, yeah.
Marvin Jones was fast. However, there was one instance where, at the end, he did not go out of bounds. He made the same mistake as Dallas. But thankfully, Detroit had a timeout. That's the difference. But I could tell, you saw Stafford angry and scolding them. It's like, you get down or you go out of bounds. Because he didn't want to use that timeout. They didn't want to use that timeout.
Yep. He's telling them to get... He's like, get...
Stafford is showing him, he's asserting himself as the boss because Calvin Johnson's gone, so he has to be the boss. And Eric Ebron getting a touchdown too. The young players are coming around.
I started seeing a little bit of Tom Brady in Matt Stafford with how ticked off he was as wide receiver.
You want me to be honest, Bill? I saw more of Andrew Luck, the guy across the benches. Because Stafford and Luck remind me of those of the same type of trope, or they have similarities. They play till the end. They could be most dangerous in the fourth quarter. They can move. They can throw in just about any way, like sidearm. They could throw bullets. They could throw deep passes. They could do it all.
Yep.
Honestly, Bill, the Lions-Colts was one of my most look forward to games in terms of shootouts because the Colts have another shootout that I'm looking forward to. This one's going to go above 100 points, I hope. Colts-Packers. No defenses, no problem. Just in Lambeau, I would go watch it because I don't care who you're a fan of. You want to see touchdowns. That would be the epitome of offensive football right there. It wouldn't surprise me if a cumulative record from both sides. It's not only points put in a whole game, overall offensive yards accumulated. Do you see what I'm getting at, Bill? Would be very fun. Yeah. It would be very fun to watch. But Bill, finish. I got one more point before we move on.
I was gonna say, it was just a very fun game to watch, and that field goal at the end, it was nerve-wracking and it was exciting, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna say what I think you're going to say. So.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm saying with Matt Prater, had he missed that, he would have been the quote-unquote GOAT, the worst. This guy, Matt Prater, is just worrying me. Well, what did you think I was gonna say? Because I don't think that's what I was gonna say, according to you.
I thought you were gonna go with the safety at the very end.
Oh yes, that I forgot about that. So the Lions scored a safety at the end because of the basically the rugby moves that the Colts did, but they're throwing backwards, and because they threw a forward pass in the end zone, that's where the ball stops by default. but it was
Right.
the end zone, so it's a safety. So they got a free 2 points for just pushing, just moving forward in the field.
I consider those 2 points attributed to everyone on the special teams team. And good job, special teams. You pushed them back. You got
Yes,
two
but
points to your name.
I will quote Fox. How do you say that word? Fox, Fox,
What?
Faux. How do you say that?
Bo?
Faux. Faux John Madden tweets, "That was the most entertaining safety you will ever see."
Right?
It was great. I found that to be great. Oh yeah, one last thing. This is back at Houston. Will Fuller, 5 receptions, 107 yards, and a touchdown. He is the number 7 best receiver. In fact, I think he made Texans history. That's the most receiving yards by a rookie in game
Oh,
one
damn.
for Houston.
Damn.
So yeah, this kid's already showing his moves. This is what I like about Houston with Rick Smith. If you're a first, second round player, you're starting. You are starting. They don't. Oh,
Right?
let's keep you back till you get used to the system. No, you're getting experience by playing with the pros.
Yep.
But
Because that tells you if you belong or not.
yes, if you're a first rounder, especially early, you have to be starting. You should. I mean, I'm a little worried about the Rams, but hell, I like Case Keenum, so I'm okay with them doing that. Plus,
Right.
that line might be bad, so maybe it's good to let Case Keenum be the meat shield.
Right?
But anyway, so yeah, that was the best safety I've ever seen because it was entertaining in all kinds of ways. I'm looking forward to Houston playing the Colts. And fun fact, because the Colts lost, the Jaguars blew it to the Packers. They could have upset the Packers, man. And the Titans blew it to the Vikings. Houston's in the
Right.
lead, 1-0.
Yep.
Everyone else 0-1. Beautiful.
Yep.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. But you know what I don't want to see, Bill?
Oh, jeez.
I don't want to see Cowboys fans hyping up their offense because the offense could not finish drives. If the Cowboys scored 2 touchdowns when they should have, this would be a very different game. We would be praising Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. But alas, the Cowboys blew this game, and I will mention the 3 crucial reasons why.
Okay.
First reason, Ezekiel Elliott, he is the 4th round pick. Everyone before and after the draft, in coming into training camp, coming into the whole season and preseason, everyone's saying this guy's a day 1 game changer. You got a game plan for him. He's gonna light the field. He is already rookie of the year. And to the few pundits who said, "Hey, let's not crown this guy anything yet till he's earned it," they were shamed. They were ostracized. Like, you're an idiot. How dare you question Ezekiel Elliott's greatness? Well, I've been questioning it, and so far it looks like I'm right. Granted, he could step it up from here on. He could he can get better, and he might really be Rookie of the Year. I could be wrong. We all could be wrong. You could be right. And if you are right, good for you. But if you're wrong, you better admit that you're wrong. Because so far, Elliott was not doing as well as any other player. Amir Abdullah did better. Melvin Gordon played amazing with the Chargers game, which is a shame that they had to lose, Grant, mind you. But
Right.
you could say, oh, but Josh, they're experienced players. That's fair. But this guy, according to you, was going to light the field up. Yes, he got a touchdown. But the thing was, did you see how big a hole they had to give him? That's about 2 or 3 yards wide of a hole for him to go through. That's pretty easy. I think anyone who could sprint good enough with all that stuff on their back can get in the end zone pretty easy. Wouldn't you say?
Right.
So yeah, Ezekiel Elliott, not saying he's a bust, but if he is a bust, I'm okay with it because that's Dallas's hubris right there. You had plenty of offensive talent. Alfred Morris, for the little time he came out, averaged 8 yards per run.
Right.
This guy, along with Darren McFadden, should have been your 1-2 punch. Good job,
Yes.
Dallas. Jalen Ramsey, to his credit, was actually playing better against the Packers. Rodgers did not throw in his direction that often. And of course, he did a good job. He was the immediate impact player. Looks like the pundits were right so far. Because, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers isn't using it on you, that says something.
Oh, yeah.
Next, Dez. I'm not saying Dez is no longer a top 10 potential wide receiver. But, I mean, there's a lot of bad luck on Dez. But as things stand now, he is in a downwards trend. Some
Right.
people say it's because of without Romo, because there's no chemistry with Dak Prescott. Absolutely, because Dak Prescott is a rookie. He hasn't played with him that often. They need to connect it, but they need to connect fast if they really want to win this division. Because you don't need that many wins to win this crap division. Because I'm pretty sure you and I think it's going to be a 7, 8, or 9 win team that goes on to the playoffs.
I honestly believe that to be the case, yes.
So to get a win in your own division would be crucial. Dez dropping touchdown passes again. The last one, the one that everyone debated about whether it's a catch or not, I still think it's a catch. But if I play devil's advocate a little, if he never tried to reach his arm out to the goal line, he would have caught it. If he focused on securing the ball more than I'm going to reach out and get it in, it would have been fine.
Right. This is just another example of God knows what a catch is in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, but that one wasn't a catch. Like
Right.
you didn't need to
Yeah,
debate that.
Right.
It slipped. It bounced off his arms. He could not secure it. Dez
Right.
needs to really work on ball security. That's the only thing I could say. Because for God's sakes, Hopkins can secure a ball with one hand in a helmet, or sometimes with just one hand. Dez could
Right.
have 4 hands and still might not secure it. So
Right,
Dez,
yeah.
like the only one positive player was pretty much Jason Witten a little bit and Vic Beasley, or Cole Beasley. To
Right,
a number
yeah.
11. Beasley was the one that Prescott has chemistry with, surprisingly. So we expect your number 3 guy to be your number 1. But the last one, this big one, I mean, I haven't even stated defense, but that what else am I saying that's new about defense? But oh well, I'm still gonna rip it anyway. Terrence Williams. If Dez is telling you to go out of bounds, why don't you listen?
Right.
Why don't you listen? He would.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yes.
be a hero and go cut this giant and go to the end zone. Even though there were 2 other giants that are about 5 to 10 yards away from me, I'm still gonna run for it. Dumbass.
Right.
I mean, if he just dropped, like if he just kneeled on the floor, they might have clocked it.
Right.
But I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know, but what I can tell you is that why do you want to play hero? Sometimes, like, Dan Bailey was going to be the hero. Why did you want to be the hometown hero? He's saying, I wanted to cut him off and then go out of bounds. Like, how could you do that? If you were midfield, I can understand, but you were not that. You were about a yard away from touching the white line, and you're good. That's all you had to do. I mean,
Right.
to be fair, they say Dan Bailey might not have made that. I think he could have. He can make a 60-yarder. He's done it already. He did it in Seattle when it was windy. This is
Yeah.
a dome. The dome was closed. You could do it. But the last thing, the Cowboys chewed up so much clock. They had more time, I believe, than one whole half of the game. But it didn't matter. This is what fans were saying. Oh, we just need to chew up the clock, put up points, and we'll win. Oh, sure, that might work. But when another team has a high octane offense, you can keep them off the field as much as you want. But if you have a garbage team or garbage defense, which so far my prediction of Dallas having the worst defense is coming true already. They put up points way faster than you could, and they put touchdowns. And that's because they
Right.
missed an extra point. Didn't matter, though.
It
It was horrifying to see that defense. Granted, they got 2 turnovers, which is something to be proud of for them. They should be very proud, but in the end, their corners were garbage. This is why I said you should have got Jalen Ramsey, because Jalen Ramsey versus Odell Beckham would have been fun.
Right.
But you didn't. And Jacksonville's enjoying it. Jacksonville's laughing at you. If Jacksonville makes the playoffs, I really hope Jalen Ramsey just laughs at Dallas again, saying, "This is why you should have drafted me."
Right. Exactly.
They don't have any good defensive players. The ones that they did are all suspended because they're doing drugs, which, the fault of Jerry Jones, because instead of spending $1.5 billion on a practice facility, for what? Air-conditioned vents to keep to keep the gear fresh. How about you keep your players in check? Forget that.
Oh man.
Keep them in check. Keep them healthy. Keep them drug-free. And you might have had a
Right.
better defense to compete with the Giants.
Right.
Oh well, it's not like I'm picking Dallas to win next week because they're playing Washington and Josh Norman's going to shut down Dez Bryant.
Oh jeez.
But anyway, yeah, so this whole thing about, my final point, the whole thing about Dallas being overhyped, saying they're going to go to the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, which I guess, to be fair, it's not certain yet. I mean, because the Giants went at 9-7 to the Super Bowl and beat the 16-0 Patriots. Anything's
Right.
possible. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't trust this defense. I cannot trust this Dallas defense because if you're playing in the AFC, all you have to worry about is New England, but also Denver, I guess. It's just New England and Denver. Who do you got to worry about the NFC? You got to worry about your division. You got to worry about the freaking Panthers, the Packers, the Seahawks, the Cardinals.
Right.
And then, of course, if Tampa Bay is doing the way they're going, then you got to worry about them.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing. Everyone was putting so much stock into Dak Prescott and just saying, wait and see. In a big game, he could not finish drives. He's a rookie. So I want to let it slide a bit, but it's just the fans that make me not want to forgive it. Because the hype, the Dallas fan base is just some of the most, I wouldn't say foolhardy, what's the word? Gullible. Some of the most gullible fans in sports I've ever seen.
Well, they want a winning team. Just
Yeah,
like
but
we all want a winning team.
well,
though,
they're a
you
spoiled
know?
fan base. That's why, because they're used to the Aikman days. I mean, if you think this is bad, wait till Tom Brady retires. Unless Garoppolo is as like 3/4 as good as Brady, they're going to be very spoiled if they don't even get 10 wins.
Right.
They're going to act up. So I'm worried as a Patriots fan because look what's going to happen once Brady's gone. How are they going to act? That's something I'm looking forward to seeing. But you know, the only even the Packers fans, well, you see Packers fans, they could be winning by 30 points. Or no. Here's the perfect example. Remember that last game 2 years ago when the Lions could have won the division against the Green Bay Packers?
Right.
The Packers were coming from behind. They scored a touchdown, and the Packers fans were still booing Darren Rodgers. Which, in the end, he won the game for them.
Right.
And you're still booing him? What's wrong with you? You're spoiled. Like, there are a few fan bases which are spoiled. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Dallas, and New England, especially when Brady retires.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to add Denver because Denver's fan base. You remember last year when we made our awards, I declared them worst of the year. I saw it happen
Right.
again, Bill, where a Broncos fan came back. He found like that guy I mentioned, Elliot Harrison. He said, like Trevor Simeon is great. We were right. You were wrong. I hope you die. It's like, what? Stop. What's wrong with you? Like,
You're
this is
one and
the
oh.
Broncos fans are a whole nother level because they remember you. They remember. It's like they remember your name and try to find out all about you so they can kill you. It's like, calm down, bro. It's just a game. But
Right.
anyway, that's enough Dallas because more of this and I feel like I'm just gonna collapse and die. The
Oh,
the
geez.
Dallas disappointment train continues. It just continues until they prove otherwise. It's the defense that's really gonna kill them. But
right.
you know,
yeah,
fans should not blame anyone but themselves because they were overstocking a 8-8 team at best. They were putting
Right.
way too many eggs in the basket. This is coming from a
Right.
guy who has Houston with Osweiler. But even then, I'm still skeptical of him.
I mean, right now I would rather have Brock Osweiler than Dak Prescott.
I'd rather have Lamar Miller over Ezekiel Elliott. Granted,
I mean,
he didn't get a touchdown, but he didn't need to.
Dak has a lot of upside, but so does Osweiler, and we'll see in the future how that turns out.
Yes. Anyway, let's move on to the last game. I don't have much to say about this one, aside from what's
Right.
already been said. New England, I did not think they'd do it. I thought the Cardinals were going to win 30-21. Like, they're going to
I
win
think
pretty handily, a comfy win. No. The Patriots defense, I think it got better, even when Rob Ninkovich is suspended / injured. and Tom Brady's out. The Patriots defense held its ground and just, I mean, they still couldn't stop Larry Fitzgerald. He got his 99th and 100th career touchdown, which I praise him. Larry Fitzgerald. I never knew much about him beforehand, but after we saw that NFC divisional round game against the Packers, Fitzgerald, man, I could see
Right.
why he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, Fitzgerald went absolutely off in that game.
He had to make up
But
for John
the,
Brown and Michael Floyd's not lack of, they just were getting shut down.
right. Well, here's what the New England Patriots did: is they shut down those deep crossing routes, and the deep crossing routes are the main thing that Michael Floyd and John Brown do. I mean, literally, they run those routes constantly to try to get into Michael Floyd or John Brown's hands because they're both speedsters.
Yeah, and even when he
Whereas,
did throw it, you saw Malcolm Butler just knock the ball away.
right. Whereas Larry Fitzgerald was playing the slot the entire game, and they left him pretty much alone.
Yeah, he's still good.
I mean, they took away what the Arizona Cardinals did best, and that's their deep crossing routes in their passing game, and that's the scary thing about the Patriots, and that's what, of course, I'm going to heap a ton of praise onto Bill Belichick and
The greatest
New England
coach
Patriots.
ever. The greatest coach
Yeah.
ever. But
I mean, all he does is have a plan for you,
yeah.
and they
They
execute
didn't
your
throw this
the
game
plan.
too. That's the crazy thing. They treated this as a season opener, not like the end of the season where it's like we've already secured first round buys and home field. We can throw this one away. It doesn't matter. Like let's just rest the starters after a few snaps to keep them fresh.
Right.
He did not treat it like that, and that's crazy. I didn't. I would have. I thought this game was as good as lost as everyone did. But I'll be fair. Carson Palmer and the team, I'm not worried about the Cardinals, especially because of what happened to Russell Wilson. If his injury is as bad as it seems to be, if he's out for a couple of games, the Cardinals will indeed capitalize on that.
I mean, if you watched that end of that game against the Patriots, you can tell that they're a really good team. I mean, a really good
Well,
team.
these two
They
teams
were,
are going to the Super Bowl, if you ask me, Bill. This isn't the last time these two rosters are meeting, if you ask me. Like, I'm not worried for the Cardinals one bit. And you saw David Johnson was the one bright spot who they could not contain. They could only delay the inevitable. When I mentioned
Right.
Abdullah making those smart football IQ moves, David Johnson was doing that even better. I mean,
Right.
remember, the Cardinals were going to draft Abdullah, but the Lions just took him. But so far, the Cardinals are having the last laugh. But, I mean, I'm not saying that that Abdullah is worse or they're better off without him, but you know what I mean? They somehow found a good player in that same round. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know how hard it is
Yeah.
like to have your guy stolen and find one who's just as good, if not better, in that middle of the draft.
That just tells me that they have really great scouting. That
Yeah.
you know,
So if David Johnson's woken up, because granted he's on a really good roster already, that's why he's shining faster than a good player on a bad team. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
so let's move to the Patriots offense. Garoppolo. I'm actually a little afraid for Week 3 now, because if they lost this, I said they were going to go 2-2. That's perfectly fine. The Patriots, I'm not saying they're going to go 4-0. I think they're going to lose a game. I think Garoppolo needs to lose a game. He needs to take a loss under his belt to learn. You learn more from losses than you do from wins. That's just a fact.
Right.
So,
or close games like this.
yeah. But a loss you'll learn from more. I mean, don't believe me, just ask the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
But oh boy, Garoppolo stayed in control. He got a couple deep shots to Danny Amendola and what's his name? Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman.
Gronk was
Yep.
gone, but that didn't matter. They still did good. They don't even have they have Kevin White and what's his name again? LeGarrette Blunt. They don't have their other running back. I forgot his name again. You know what I'm talking about?
Dion Lewis.
Yes, he's not. He's still not back.
Right.
So whenever he comes back, just imagine that offense being more dynamic.
Oh yeah, it's already a dynamic offense.
And that was
they've got
without
some
Gronk, without Brady, and without Lewis.
right. I mean, they got a young player in Hogan that's really going to be a pretty special.
What
wide
you gonna
receiver in
do,
this
brother?
league. He was running wild all over the freaking.
Is he gonna
Cardinals
make
defense.
Gawker run out of business again?
I think Mr. Hogan there was gonna drop a leg drop on one of the Cardinals at a point.
Oh,
Good
man.
Lord.
So, but to a Cardinals fan, I would not be worried. I mean, you're playing the Patriots. The fact you
Yeah.
play them close shows that you can compete with the best. But I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't take
I
much
mean-
out of a loss like that. But still,
I mean,
I-
it was a better performance in this game than the seven interception game.
there was a 7 interception game.
In the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah, that it's way better than that. So it's not. I'm not worried for them one bit. I'm still sticking to my gut that the Cardinals are going to the title game and winning it.
Right.
But anyway, what? And here's the best part, Bill. Those pictures I showed you. Like, in fact, if I haven't posted them already on the video, because I'm putting a lot of NFL meme pictures on here because oh god, the internet went off today. Let me. I want to read this thing. Okay, so first you probably saw the Andrew Luck one. I didn't read it, so yeah, that one's up there. But oh well. Okay, so there's Roger Goodell being upset that the Patriots were winning, and Ezekiel Elliott 0-1. And of course, the one with Goodell, when you try everything in your power to ruin the Patriots and they still win. Forget about Tom Brady, dude. You should have suspended Bill Belichick. You should have suspended him. But
I mean, he's the true mastermind. of
he's
that
the
team.
grandmaster among coaches. But anyway, I think that's all I can say about the Patriots. It wasn't much. I'm proud of Garoppolo, and plus there were naysayers doubting him the whole way through, and he just proved them wrong. He didn't just win a game; he won against a possible Super Bowl contender from last year. Because if it wasn't the Panthers, it was going to be the Cardinals.
Right.
In fact, I think if the Cardinals played the Broncos, that game would have been much better. Because
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cardinals also have a good defense. But their offense, in my opinion, is better. Because you got Larry fucking Fitzgerald.
Right.
Oh, God. I wish I had fantasy. I would have taken Larry Fitzgerald. Because if I started him here, I would get a lot of points. But anyway, let's move on to the other games. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of good games in Week 1. I mentioned a bit the Chargers blowing a huge lead to the Chiefs, which credit to the Chiefs, man. I mean, I know a guy who's from Kansas City. He loves Kansas City football teams. Well, he loves all the teams. He loves the Royals, the Chiefs, and all that. He just
Yeah.
changed the channel. So after the game was over, like, hey, so did you ever change the channel back to the Chiefs game? Oh, such an ass. But that was funny. The Vikings defense shut down the Titans. Yes, they are the
Oh, yeah.
Titans again, Bill.
I mean, Tennessee did play them very difficult, and they did hold Adrian Peterson in check. He only had 24
That's a little
yards.
worrisome a bit for him. But,
But I mean, the Tennessee Titans are making improvements.
Bill,
Obviously, I
when
don't
we get
think
to the
that
picks, I want you to address them as the Titans.
I'm not going to badmouth the Titans when I'm playing against them. Just saying.
Come on, Bill.
Because I don't want to jinx it. I want to, I want to play against them and defeat them, and then maybe after that, who knows?
All right, Bill. But anyway, next another game. Okay, so that Seattle game I mentioned, they barely won that one. That was a defensive slugfest. I don't know how, but I'm guessing Adonican Sue broke Russell Wilson's leg.
I don't know what happened, but
It was a defensive slugfest. 12-10, Bill, is an ugly score.
yeah, it was a really ugly score, and I mean, that serve shows you what the Dolphins could do. I don't think
On
the
defense. Their
Dolphins
defense
will do.
was the better part, if you ask me.
Right. I don't think that they're going to do that constantly. And the other thing is that the Dolphins'
I
offense.
like.
Ugh.
Well, hey, the one bright spot, Arian Foster, because when he's healthy, he is a great running back. I miss him, but the only reason I don't miss him too much is because of the injuries.
I mean, he could be gone after week 4, and he might be injured. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I said I don't miss him too much. But the thing is, like I said, you don't doubt Russell Wilson anymore. He is no doubt becoming a top 5 quarterback, especially once Tom Brady is gone. He's probably going to replace that spot that's missing.
right?
I mean, everyone's
Yeah.
putting their eggs in the Cam Newton basket, which he could very well do that. But right now, I think Russell Wilson's the better mobile quarterback. I mean, he's got a ring to it.
Yep.
For his sake and the Seattle Seahawks' sake, you better hope he's not gone for more than 2 games. Because if I recall, this week they're playing the Rams, which they could or could not win without him, because the Rams always play them close. They always do it. And then after that they have who do they have? Oh, they're hosting the 49ers, which they can win that. And after that, let's see if they have one that's actually viable. Oh, they have the Jets. So yeah, they could probably use him for about 2 of those games. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if his injury is hopefully not too serious. It didn't seem like it was serious, but that's what we thought with Romo, where he's like, I'm just fine. It feels a little sore, but turned out to be broken. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Next one worth mentioning. Oh boy. So we have. Here's the thing. First I'll save that one for last. No, let's get it out of the way. So here's the thing. I said last week, Oakland's quarterback wide receiver duo, along with Tampa Bay's, we're going to make the Pro Bowl. That is Mike Evans and Amari Cooper for the wide receivers, and Derek Carr and Jameis Winston we're going to make. I should have picked Tampa Bay. I should not have went against, it's like I contradicted myself for just saying, oh, Mike Evans and Jameis Winston are going to be great, but I don't think they'll win this game.
I mean,
He threw 4 touchdowns. Mike Evans caught a bomb in the end zone.
right.
They were great. Jameis Winston. I mean, I said it. I think he's better than Marcus Mariota. And half the reason he's already had talent by his side, and he's getting more talent. After this season, if they could just go 8-8 or above, or even sneak into the playoffs, you know how many teams are going to say, I want to play for Jameis Winston? That kid has potential. That kid can
Right.
go far. You know what I mean? That's what draws players to certain franchises. Like, I want to play with a team that has a shot at the Super Bowl.
Right. I mean, I don't think that Tampa Bay's that far off.
I mean, they're
Tampa's
where
on the rise.
Oakland was last year. And actually, technically, remember, Jameis Winston had a good rookie year.
I mean,
For a quarterback, that's hard to do. I mean, a wide receiver or a running back can do it.
they also have a established running back in Doug Martin. He's not learning his way. He already knows his
And
way.
then they have a guy who's going to make the leap soon and be a good wide receiver in Mike Evans, who I'm a fan of. I've been a fan since he was playing in Texas A&M.
I mean, and Mike Evans had someone to learn from, and that was Vincent Jackson.
Yep. But Bill, remember,
So-
the best players come from Texas. Oh, what am I saying? J.J. Watt came from Wisconsin.
I mean, us upper Midwestern guys.
You got your Michigan State. That's probably the only other good college. Well, what am I saying?
Michigan,
It's a lot of the southern
Michigan.
areas.
Michigan State. They're both in the top 15.
Well, you have the best coach, that's for sure.
We're the number 4
Good job,
team in
San Francisco.
country.
You blew it. But anyway, yes, Jameis Winston and Mike Evans already on track, but not just them. Oaklandville, Jack Del Rio, and I quote, I'm gonna give you the tweet just so you can see it. I'm gonna read the subtweet, and then I'm gonna read the other tweet from him.
Okay.
Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. I want you to read the ESPN stats and info tweet. Then I will read what Jack Del Rio said.
All right, here we go. So the ESPN stats and info tweet. Okay, based on ESPN's win probability model, Raiders had 51% chance to win if they kicked PAT and 44% chance if they went for two.
Good thing ESPN isn't coaching the Raiders. Bill, I would put a Dean scream right there, because he showed them. Let's be real. If he didn't make that, if Derek Carr didn't make that, we would not be talking about him like this. We would be calling him. They would be calling him the biggest idiot ever. But no, he made it, and now he's a genius. Jack Del Rio is out for the playoffs. It's made it very clear. It's like, we want to win, and we will do whatever it takes to win.
Also, where did that extra 1% come from?
I don't know. Because the Saints' defense is that bad?
I mean, still, in overtime, it's a 50-50 shot. You know? I mean, by nature of getting into overtime, that would put you at 50-50. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. I don't know.
Yeah. But, Jack Del Rio already trying to become Coach of the Year, too. But Derek Carr is showing up and being great. I mean, the Saints played a great game, too. That's not shit on them. I mean, they had the longest touchdown reception in their history, 98 yards.
Right.
But their defense, they're in the same boat as the Dallas Cowboys. But the difference is the Saints at least have an established quarterback. You know what Drew Brees can do.
Yeah.
But good shit on them. I'm so proud for Oakland to start off on a winning. They haven't won their first game since 2007.
Right.
And they haven't had a winning record nor made the playoffs since 2002, which that Super Bowl window was slammed by the Tuck rule.
Right.
But anyway, I think that's all that's worth mentioning for these games. I mean, Bill, look out for Oakland and Tampa Bay. They are young teams ready to pounce. Forget about Jacksonville. I mean, everyone has already put in those eggs in that basket, but it's these two who I'm pounding the table for.
Oh yeah, very possible. Very possible.
Anyway, Bill, it is time. Don't you think? It's time for the picks.
Indeed.
All right, Bill, start us off.
The Thursday night game. The New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills.
They're both 0-1, Bill. Do you still intend to keep your pick, or do you want to change it? I think in a desperation move, Buffalo is going to win this one.
I'm going to pick the New York Jets.
You're still sticking with it then?
Yep. The Bills did not show me nothing against the Baltimore Ravens, and the Bills are going to be.
I was glad. I did not doubt Coach Harbaugh. I mean, well, I wished one bad season on the Ravens, and that was one they did not deserve.
I mean, I'll put it this way: the Bills are going to be without Sammy Watkins for a while.
Yeah, he could play, but I wouldn't start him because it could be worse.
I just have the Jets. They just look like a better team than the Bills.
Yeah.
All right, so the Sunday games. The San Francisco 49ers at the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, God, this is a fucking joke. A few years ago, this would have been great, but Carolina, they needed an easy win. Here they go.
Carolina's just gonna laugh, and Cam's just be just doing all his dance all over the place on the 49ers. Easy Carolina win.
Yes.
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team.
Oh, God, this is so easy. Washington football team. Dad's going to get shut down. Dak Prescott's going to have a lot tougher time than before, maybe. But I just don't think Dallas has it in them this time.
And I also have the Washington football team defeating the Dallas Cowboys.
0-2. Get those. How about that hype train?
Right. I just don't see how, you know, the Cowboys offense, which already looked bad, is going to play good against a defense that's better than the Giants.
I'm starting to think the Giants' defense might be better than before.
All right. So next up,
JPP nearly got a sack twice on
right.
Prescott, but next game.
And next up, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, they should be glad Le'Veon Bell is suspended, because if he was here, he'd have broken his leg again, because it's always Bengals players that do it. I mean, if it's not Vontaze Burfict, it's someone else. Since I have Cincinnati taking this one, actually, going 2-0 and securing a strong lead over the division.
I also have the Cincinnati Bengals defeating the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers' defense will be able to compete with the Bengals' offense, whereas I think the Bengals' defense is equipped to handle the Steelers, especially without a lot of their pieces.
Yes.
Next up, the New Orleans Saints at the New York Giants.
Okay, Bill. I'm going to go with the Giants here. The Saints, Drew Brees showed me a lot, but I'm thinking the Giants' defense will be just enough to shut it down a bit.
The Saints outside of that dome? The Giants, oh man. They're going to throw all over the field on the Saints. I mean, the Saints are going to have an issue with Odell Beckham. I mean, they had an issue with Amari Cooper. Just look out. Look out. It's the Giants with a win.
Yeah.
Next up, the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots.
Oh boy, the throne of ease has never felt so cushy. The Patriots going 2-0 already.
I also have the New England Patriots defeating the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins' offense is going to play well at all, and I think the Patriots' offense will play just good enough to defeat the Dolphins.
All right.
Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Houston Texans.
All right, Bill, I'm going to let you pick this one first.
All right. So, Kansas City didn't show me nothing, getting almost blown out to the San Diego Chargers. Their defense is not anywhere near what it was, and you got to contend with DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller. Yeah, and you got J.J. Watt on the other side and Jadeveon Clowney. I'm taking the Texans.
Oh, you switched your pick too. So am I. I'm going Houston. This one's not going to be easy though. I think this one's going to go until the fourth quarter, but I think that the Chiefs, with missing both Jamal Charles and Justin Houston, they're going to be missed here too. I don't think they're going to get away with what they did like last week, because this time they're playing a formidable and very well depth Houston defense.
All right, so here we go. The Tennessee Titans at the Detroit Lions.
I have the Titans faltering once again, because Detroit's going to put a lot of points on Tennessee and it'll be just too much to keep up with. DeMarco Murray's probably going to be the one bright spot in this whole offense. I've got the Lions.
I got the Lions too. I think they're going to throw the football all over the field on Tennessee. And, good luck covering 4 or 5 wide receivers and Ebron and Amir and freaking, Theoretic. Good luck with that. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns.
It looks like it's going to be a two-way race for the early parts of this division, because the Ravens coming back, bounce back season. The Ravens want to remind the world, it's like, yeah, we had that one bad year, but I don't think we want that to happen again anytime soon. Baltimore just stomping Cleveland.
I also have Baltimore demolishing Cleveland. Again, my rule from last year applies to this year. If there's a McCown starting at quarterback, I'm picking against them. The Ravens.
What if there are 2 McCowns playing each other?
I'm picking a tie.
Oh, no.
Alright, so next up, the Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams.
We're having the 4 o'clock games. I'm going with
Yep.
the LA Rams here. I thought with or without Russell Wilson, I would think the Rams show off their home debut in style. This one's going to be close. I think the Rams will pull it off. Aaron Donald's going to get a sack and remind people that he is a top caliber defensive tackle.
This is going to be a defensive struggle all the way through. And I think if Russell plays, it'll be in a very limited way. But I still think that they'll have just enough to defeat the Rams. I'm picking Seattle, but just barely.
But what if he's not playing? Because he could be out.
If he's not playing, I'm gonna still pick Seattle, but just barely. I just
Alright.
have a little bit more faith
I just
in
see
the
these
Seahawks
teams always
defense.
splitting. They're that group that always splits wins.
Right. Next up, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Jameis Winston, you're still going to put points, but I think the Cardinals need to bounce back from here. I'm taking the Cardinals just because they are balanced everywhere. That's just enough to win.
I am also taking the Cardinals. They are going to be a little upset from that other game. They're going to show the Buccaneers who's boss, and I just have a lot of faith in the Cardinals.
Yes. Next game.
Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the San Diego Chargers.
Oh, San Diego Superchargers. I'm picking you because I think this is going to be another shootout for Jacksonville. But I think because Phillip Rivers has that little more experience, he can dissect the Jaguars' defense, which is still very green, if you ask me, and just take this game. Plus, I think Joey Bosa is going to start this game.
I'm going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to defeat the San Diego Chargers. I think that the Chargers were exposed by the Kansas City Chiefs in that second half, and the Jaguars almost beat the Packers, and that's a really good team.
Hey, remember, let's be fair. The Chargers nearly beat the Packers last year, and that's after they lost all their players.
Right. I mean, I still think that they're a better team offensively with Hearns and Robinson and Bortles and Yeldon, etc., than without a Keenan Allen-less Chargers with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. All right, next game, Bill.
Next up, the Atlanta Falcons at the Oakland Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders again. 2-0, bitches. The Raiders trying to keep that division spot. They want to fight for this thing to the very end. And an exposed Atlanta team will not be able to match up with the Oakland Raiders.
I also have the Oakland Raiders defeating the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, I think their defense is suspect at best, and the Raiders don't have a really good defense either, but I think they're going to be able to hold the Falcons back.
All right.
Next up, the Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos.
I'm going with Denver. Denver has the defense, and Indy has the offense. It is the sword versus the shield. I have the shield winning this time. Denver gonna sack Andrew Luck about 5 times. They're gonna beat up poor Luck. Luck is the most hit quarterback ever now after this.
Denver Broncos are going to run Andrew Luck out of this building. I mean, he's going to be running for his life. So I'm picking the Denver Broncos to defeat the Indianapolis Colts. Their defense is I think I could throw a touchdown pass against the Colts defense, and that's just saying something. All right, so the Sunday night game is the Green Bay Packers playing in the new stadium of the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm taking the Packers. Because the Vikings aren't here, this is the Packers division to win as long as they just stomp out what little seeds of rebellion that are out there. I think the Packers will not shut out the Vikings, but they're going to make this one not a good game to come to.
I'm going to pick the Minnesota Vikings to defeat the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, you're going for the
And
upset.
and here's why. I think Adrian Peterson is going to go off in this game. Sean Hill is going to have a better game than he did against Tennessee because Tennessee's defense is better than Green Bay's defense. And yes, I said that.
I'm surprised
Green
you
Bay-
said that.
Green Bay's defense is one of the 4 worst in the
You
NFL.
want to know why I think the Packers will win? Because Jordy Nelson, he's going to miss a ball by about 3 yards. You're like, come on, ref, throw a flag.
And then 4 flags fly.
But, oh, by the way, I tweeted this to you, Bill, but guess who was at my Houston game last week?
Lurch, a.k.a. Peter Morelli.
Pete Morelli, that son of a bitch.
And he was pretty bad in that game. He was having issues calling flags in the Houston Texans game in week 1.
Yep. All right, Bill, we have Monday night.
The Monday night game is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Chicago Bears.
I have Chicago just because I trust Cutler more than Carson Wentz. Yeah, I said that, and everyone's already overhyping Carson Wentz. So I need to stop these hype trains. They need to be put to the brakes, and people need to realize that these guys aren't going to win everything.
And now the typical ESPN game where they get the worst game of the week. Obviously, I think it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chicago defense is just not good, and I have more faith in the Philly defense than I do in the Chicago defense.
I have more faith in the Chicago defense. I think the Philly defense is overrated.
I mean, we'll find out on Monday. So,
all right, Bill, the Thursday game in case we're not around.
Week 3 Thursday game. The Houston Texans at the New England Patriots.
Bill, I'm going to probably regret this. I'm going Houston because I can't see any other team that could defeat the Patriots without Garoppolo. I don't think the Bills or the Dolphins could do it.
Right. And for right now, I've got the New England Patriots. I think they're going to take away some J.J. Watt from that defense.
I don't know, man. I mean, remember, 3-man rush, Clowney still broke through. If it's not Watt, it's going to be Clowney or Merciless.
Right. I mean, obviously, they're going to take what they do well on offense away. And
they're going to try to stop Lamar Miller, which I want to see if they can. But we'll see. Anyway, I think that's it. We've got all the games covered. This was a fun first week. I cannot wait for week 2. Should be fun, right, Bill?
Exactly.
All right, then. We'll see you guys next week.